Welcome to Watch Symposium. I'm Austin. All right, so the question, does a wristwatch have to hurt? Does it have to hurt financially for it to be worth anything? Well, according to Archie Luxury, if your wife hasn't at least thought about divorce after a purchase, you probably got a crappy watch. Now, do I really need to say this? Archie Luxury is a character. The actor that portrays Archie Luxury makes no secret of the fact that he's an over-the-top guy. But the question is there a grain of truth in this? Well, yeah, I think there's certainly a grain of truth in that over-the-top statement. All right. Now, let's define hurting. I mean, should it cause any sort of financial straits or relationship problems? I hope none of his 25,000 subscribers believe that, but, I wouldn't be surprised if they did. Apparently some do. Andy Hunter has apparently been getting emails, asking if that's the case, does a watch have to hurt? So I guess there are people that are, taking the character Archie Luxury at his word and getting ready to commit financial suicide. All right, well, look, no, it doesn't have to hurt, of course. It doesn't have to hurt. But the grain of truth in that statement is that we as humans value things that are not immediately accessible. If something is too easy, we just tend to take it for granted and not see value in it. You think, God, I mean, pretty much in various aspects of life, if something is just too easy, then it loses its value, and in that sense, a watch that is expensive and does cause a bit of discomfort, you're going to naturally value it more. Okay, you're gonna see value in it more. Okay, but financial aspects aside, let's just talk about the two in terms of watches. The two, I think, factors that make us perceive value in a watch. And the first, I think, is rarity. Okay, is it rare? Now, I've got a $25 Vostok, and it's a manual wind watch from the 1980s. And again, it was $25, not expensive, but I have yet to see this watch anywhere. I don't know if that's because it's Vostok Frankenstein, or I don't know if it's just so rare. But that rarity sort of gives it value in my eyes, in the sense that even though it was so cheap, it's pretty irreplaceable. I like it, and I hardly ever wear it. I haven't worn it in months, but I do like it enough that if it went missing, I'd be a little upset about that, because I couldn't just replace it. Okay, not like the $55 Vostok I have, where I could replace it tomorrow. You can get them for $55 on eBay, exactly the same type. That's cheap, and it's not rare. And I mean, again, I wouldn't want to lose that watch either. But I much more take that watch for granted than the $25 Vostok, because I can't replace that. So rarity is a factor. Okay, and then of course cost is a factor as well, and that's what Archie is really touching on. If you can get a watch for $300, okay, I think if you're a real watch person, I think you'd agree that $300 is not that much. Okay, if you're watching Archie Luxury videos and you're probably, your head is probably around the idea that a good watch is going to be $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, and the idea of a $300 watch, I think a lot of people in this watch community would call a beater, or lower to mid tier. Okay, it's not a watch that really would garner a lot of respect, and it's because no matter how, you know, good the finish is, or how the movement, or however some reviewer waxes on about how nice it is, it's the cost that really makes us look at it as not something special. Okay. Um, let's talk about Rolexes for a second. Let's choose a Rolex Milgauss. All right. So look, I mean, Rolex Milgauss is just a simple watch that tells the time, no date. Of course, it's got resistance to um, magnetic fields and whatnot, but I mean, it's a watch, and they cost $7,000, and if you like that watch enough to part with that money, you obviously are going to see value in it, and anybody that has a watch saw value in it enough to part with that kind of money. And I don't know if the value came first or the parting of the money came first. I mean, it's kind of beside the point, but if they started selling Milgausses for $200 tomorrow and anybody could have one, I don't even know if I want one. Whereas, wow, if I saw a Milgauss for like $2,000 at some, yard sale in the States, oh man, I would snap it up, right? I mean, I would go out of my way to get it, because I know the value of those watches. Okay, I know what they cost, and it's the fact that you can't have them for $200 that builds value in our minds. And is it artificial? Well, I guess that's the question, and that sort of is the question of is Rolex worth the money? And that's kind of a different video, and I'm definitely going to make that video. But we got to stay on the idea of, does it need to hurt? And basically, it doesn't need to hurt in the sense that you're gonna really honestly suffer, because if you're suffering for this hobby, you're not doing it right. Okay, it should be fun, but it should be. And Simon Crane has talked about this too. It should be just out of your comfort zone, enough that you appreciate it, and you will appreciate it if you didn't get it for $200. So I think a watch, it kind of needs to be expensive, okay? Otherwise, you're not going to appreciate it as much. Now, rarity and cost, if you combine those, then you have what collectors go crazy about. Okay, so a run-of-the-mill sub, that's an expensive watch, okay? One with the Submariner in red, or red Submariners as they're known, they're rare, okay? So you take the rarity of that dial plus, the cost of what just a regular sub would be, and you combine those, and you have what watch collectors go nuts over. NATO Steve informed me about the Space Dweller, okay? And a Space Dweller is basically, it's a 5519 Explorer, just Explorer. But it says Space Dweller. They came out in Japan, and they are rare. They are rare. I don't think you could, if you had the $30,000 to $40,000 that they cost, I don't think you could find one. So you have just a off the bat expensive watch, 5519. That's an $8,000 watch at least, and you got one with Space Dweller written on it. That's those two. The cost and the rarity, that makes for a very valuable watch. So I have to say, does cost do it? I mean, do you just slap on a nice high price tag and all of a sudden a watch has value? Absolutely not. Two brands that I think are real guilty of this are Hublot and Frank Mueller. Okay, I think they just slap on high price tags, and I think the people that see value don't know enough about the watch to know that it's really nothing but a high price tag. So, look, I mean, is it just about cost? No, but it's about cost, but also having the quality and the history and the reputation to back it up. And if you don't have those, then that high price tag is gonna look pretty silly. So anyway, should a watch hurt? No, it shouldn't hurt. It shouldn't cause problems in your marriage or relationships or in your life financially, but it should be significant enough that you appreciate it for years to come. And, you know, good deals in the watch world, in terms of brands, they're few and far between, and you know, you're not going to find them with Steinhardt or Orient, those kind of brands. So, does a wristwatch have to hurt? Final verdict, if you're asking me, I would say slightly, enough to make you appreciate it. Okay, hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.